our progress report says we are at stage 3, paragraph page 206. 3206. Okay, and our last headword was how are you?
How
Newer
are you?
type of lesson. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
let's start with our revision. Ready?
Okay.
Okay, here we go. First question. If I want to go from there to the station, must I go along ABC Street? If I want to go from there to the station, must I go along ABC Street? Yes. If you want
Yes.
to
If
go
you want to go
from
to
here
from the
to the station, you
the
must go
station,
along
you
ABC
must go
Street.
along ABC Street.
Which streets do you walk along when you go home? Which streets do you walk along when you go home? I walk along
I
ABC
walk
Street.
along ABC Street.
Is there a white line along the road from there to the next town? Is there a white line along the road from there to the next town? Yes, there's a
Yes,
white
there
line
is a white line
along the road from here
to go
to the
from
next
here
town.
next to town.
Very good. Which is the quickest way to the station from here? Which is the quickest way to the station from here? The quickest way to the
The
station
quickest way
from
to the
here
station
is
from
to
here
go along ABC
to go
Street.
along ABC Street.
Well, which is the best way to remember something very well? Which is the best way to remember something very well? The best way
The best
to
way to
remember
remember
something very
something
well
is
is to
very
repeat it
well is
often.
repeat it often.
Right? Do you know the way from there to town by road? Do you know the way from there to town by road? Yes or no?
Yes,
I,
I know that
way from here to town
way
by
from here
road.
to town
By
by
road.
road.
Very good. What's the best way to learn a language? What's the best way to learn a language? The best way
The
to
best
learn a
to learn
language is to study a
is
lot
to study
and
a lot
repeat, repeat, and
and
repeat.
repeat, repeat, and repeat.
Very good. How often do you come here? How often do you come here? I come here.
I come here 7 days a week.
Very good. How often do you go to the cinema? How often do you go to the cinema? I go to the
I
cinema
go to the
about once a
cinema
month.
about once a month.
How often do we live? How often do we live? We only live
We only
once.
once.
How often do you text your friends? How often do you text your friends? I text my friends
I text my friend twice a week.
twice a week. Very good. Okay, next. Is it good for the health to eat fresh fruits and vegetables? Is it good for the health to eat fresh fruits and vegetables? Yes, it's
Yes,
good for the
it's
health
good
to eat
good for
fresh
health
fruit
to eat
and
fresh
vegetables.
fruit and vegetables.
Very good. Which is healthier to have with our lunch, chips or salad? Which is healthier to have with our lunch, chips or salad? Salad is healthier
Salad
to
is
have
healthy
with
to
our
have
lunch than
with our
chips.
lunch than chips.
Is it healthy to go to bed late every day? Is it healthy to go to bed late every day? No, it
No,
isn't
it isn't
healthy to go
healthy
to
to
bed
go
late every day.
to late every
It's
day.
unhealthy to go to bed late.
It's
It's un
unhealthy to
go to
go to
bed
bed
late
late
every day.
every day.
Yeah, but we do that. Okay.
Yeah.
Two, 2 plus 2 equals 7. 2 plus 2 equals 7. Do you agree? No, I don't agree.
No, I don't
That two
agree.
plus 2 equals
Two
7.
plus two equals
I
seven.
disagree.
I disagree.
Do you agree that Paris is an ugly place? Do you agree that Paris is an ugly place? No, I
No,
don't
I don't
agree that
agree.
Paris
Paris
is an
is
ugly
an
place.
ugly place.
I disagree.
I disagree.
Do you always agree with everything people say? Do you always agree with everything people say? No, I
No,
don't
I don't
always
agree
agree.
with people.
Everything
Uh,
people say.
with people to say.
Sometimes I agree
Sometimes I
and
agree.
sometimes I disagree.
I disagree.
Which is it right to say I agree or I'm agree? Which is it right to say I agree or I'm agree? It's right to say I
It's right
agree.
to say I agree.
Very good. 14 plus 80 equals 94. 14 plus 80 equals 94. What am I doing? You're adding 14
You're
and
adding
80.
14 and 80.
Very good. Is it complicated to add the numbers 15 and 30 together? Is it complicated to add the numbers 15 and 30 together? No, it
No,
isn't
it isn't
complicated to add the
complicated
numbers
to add
15
number
and 30
15
together.
and 13 together.
It's simple.
It's simple.
Very good. What do we sometimes add to our tea and coffee? What do we sometimes add to our tea and coffee? We sometimes add
We
milk
sometimes
and
add
sugar
milk,
to our
sugar
tea and coffee.
in coffee.
Very good. What do we add to a regular verb to form its past tense? What do we add to a regular verb to form its past tense? We add the letters
We add
ed
the letters
to a
ed
regular verb
to a
to
regular
form
verb
its past tense.
in its past tense.
Very good. Can you jump over this table with both your feet together? Can you jump over this table with both your feet together? No,
No,
I
I
can't
can't
jump
jump
over
on
that table
over the
with
table
both my feet together.
with both my feet together.
Very good. Can you jump up and touch the ceiling? Can you jump up and touch the ceiling? No, I
No,
can't
I
jump
can't
up and touch the ceiling.
jump up and touch the ceiling
Why not? Why not? Because the ceiling's too
because
high.
the ceiling is too high.
Very good. Can you jump as high as a house? Can you jump as high as a house? No, I can't
No, I
jump
can't
as
jump
high as a
as
house.
high as the
As
house as
high
high
as a
as
house.
a tree house.
Very good. Okay, next. We go. What's this? What's this? It's the corner of the book.
The corner of the book.
Are you sitting in the corner of your room? Are you sitting in the corner of your room? Yes or no?
No, I'm
I'm
not
not
sitting in
sitting
the
corner
on
of
the
my room.
corner of
Of
my
my
room.
room. Very good. Can you sit at the corner of a round table? Can you sit at the corner of a round table? No, I can't
No,
sit
I
at the
can't sit
corner of
at
a
the
round
corner
table.
round table
Why not? Why not? Because a round
because
table
a round
has no
table
corners.
has no corners.
Very good. Okay, where am I standing? Where am I standing? You're standing
You're
at the
standing at
corner
the
of the
corner of
table.
the table.
Where am I standing? Where am I standing? You're standing in
You're
the corner
standing
of the
in the
room.
corner of the room.
Very good. Okay, next. Can we go by ship from Paris to Milan? Can we go by ship from Paris to Milan? No, we can't
Or
go by
we
ship
can't go
from
by
Paris
ship
to Milan.
from Paris to Milan
Why not? Why not? Because both
because
cities are inland.
both cities are inland.
Is a boat larger than a ship? Is a boat larger than a ship? No, a boat
No,
isn't
a
larger
boat
than a
isn't
ship.
larger than
It's
a ship,
smaller than a ship.
smaller than the ship.
Very good. Are we almost at the end of the lesson? Are we almost at the end of the lesson? Yes or no?
No, we
We
are
aren't
not
almost
almost
at the end of the
end
lesson.
at the end of the restaurant.
Does almost everybody in your country have a mobile phone? Does almost everybody in your country have a mobile phone? Yes,
Yes,
almost everybody in
almost
my country
everybody
has
in
a
the
mobile
country has
phone.
a mobile phone.
Very good. Where do we generally see people sitting at desks? Where do we generally see people sitting at desks? We generally see
We
people
generally see
sitting at
people
desks
sitting
in
at the desk
offices
in
and classrooms.
offices and classrooms.
Right? In some jobs, can people work from home instead of going to an office? In some jobs, can people work from home instead of going to an office? Yes, in some
Yes,
jobs,
in some jobs,
people can
people
work from
can
home
work
instead of
instead
going
of
to an office.
going to uh, going to an office.
Very good. Is it easier to get a good job in your country if you speak English? Is it easier to get a good job in your country if you speak English? Yes, it's
Yes,
easier to get a good
yeah,
job
it's
in my
a good job
country
in my
if you speak
country if
English.
you speak in English.
Very good. When does next season start? When does next season start? Next season
The next
starts
season
on the
start on the
month of
first of month of
September.
September.
Very good. Okay, when's your birthday? When's your birthday? My birthday's on the.
On the 20th of February.
Very good. What do we say to people on their birthday? What do we say to people on their birthday? We say happy birthday to
We say
people
happy
on
birthday
their
to
birthday.
people in their birthday.
Very good. What can we say when we meet a friend? What can we say when we meet a friend? When we meet a
We
friend,
can say when we meet
we
friends,
can say,
we
"Hi, how
say
are you?"
hi, how are you?
Very good. What can we do when we meet somebody for the first time? What can we do when we meet somebody for the first time? When we meet somebody for
Meet
the first
somebody
time,
for the
we
time.
can
We
say,
just
"Hello, nice to meet you,"
say hello and nice to meet you
and shake hands with them.
and shake hands with them.
Very good. When you go to meet somebody, do you always arrive early? When you go to meet somebody, do you always arrive early? No. When
No,
I go
when
to
I
meet somebody,
go to meet
I don't
somebody.
always
I
arrive
don't
early.
always arrive early.
Sometimes I arrive
Sometimes
early,
I
and
arrive early.
sometimes I
And
arrive
sometimes
late.
I arrive late.
Very good. Okay, so that's the end of our revision. Let's have your work. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so let's start. Okay, repeat. Bring,
Bring,
take.
take.
Very good. Okay, listen. The difference between bring and take is that bring means carry here, whereas take means carry there. For example, when you come to school, you bring your book with you. When you go home after the lesson, you take your book with you. Okay, let's practice. What's the difference between bring and take? What's the difference between bring and take? The difference
The
between
difference
bring and
bring
take is that
is the
bring means carry here,
bring
whereas take
here,
means carry
whereas
there.
take carry there.
Very good. Okay, next. Give me a sentence with the word bring in it. Give me a sentence with the word bring in it, please. I bring my bag
I
to
bring
the
my bag
lesson with me.
to the lesson with me.
Give me a sentence with the word take in it. Give me a sentence with the word take in it, please. I take my bag
I
home
take my
with
bag
me
home
after the
with
lesson.
me after the lesson.
Very good. Okay, next. There we go. What am I doing? What am I doing? You're taking your book
We're taking your
into the
book from
corridor.
into the corridor.
Very good. What am I doing? What am I doing? You're bringing your books
You are bringing
into
your
the
books
classroom.
into the classroom.
Very good. Do you bring a pen with you to school? Do you bring a pen with you to school? Yes, I bring a
Yes, I
pen
bring
with
the
me to
pen
school.
with me to school.
Very good. Do you take this book home with you after the lesson? Do you take this book home with you after the lesson? No, I
Yes,
don't take.
I
No, I
don't
don't
take
take that book home with me
the book
after the
home
lesson.
with after the lesson
Why not? Why not? Because it isn't mine.
because it isn't mine.
Very good. Do you bring any food with you to school? Do you bring any food with you to school? Yes or no?
Yes, I
I
bring my
I bring
um
some food with me to school.
food to school.
Do you take a camera with you when you go on holiday? Do you take a camera with you when you go on holiday? Yes or no?
No, I
I do.
don't bring a camera with
With
me.
me when I go on
When
holiday. Okay. What do you bring with you to school? What do you bring with you to school? I bring my
I bring my mobile phone
with
to the
me to
school
school. With
with
me to
me too.
school. Very good. Okay, next repeat. White.
White.
Very good. Okay, listen. Quite is an adverb. For example, I don't go to the cinema very often. I go to the cinema quite often. Let's practice. Do you speak English quite well? Do you speak English quite well? Yes, I speak
Yes,
English
I
quite
speak
well.
English quite well.
Do you go to the cinema quite often? Do you go to the cinema quite often? Yes or no?
Yes.
I
No,
go.
I don't
No, I
go to
don't go to
cinema
the cinema
quite often.
quite often. Very good. Do you think learning English is quite easy, quite difficult, or very difficult? Do you think learning English is quite easy, quite difficult, or very difficult? I think learning
I think
English is
learning English is
quite
quite
easy.
difficult. Quite
Very
easy.
quite easy. Okay, next repeat. Pure,
Pure.
impure.
Pure, impure.
Very good. Okay, listen. Pure is an adjective. It means clean or not put in one place with some other things, not mixed. For example, pure water, pure wine. Impure is the opposite of pure. For example, the wine we buy in the shops isn't always pure. Sometimes it's impure. Yeah, let's practice. Is pure water bad for the body? Is pure water bad for the body? No. Pure water
No,
isn't
the
bad for
water
the
is
body.
isn't bad for the body.
It's good for the body.
It's good for the body.
Is the wine we buy in the shops always pure? Is the wine we buy in the shops always pure? No. The wine
No,
we buy in the
we buy
shops
in
isn't
the shop
always pure.
isn't always pure.
Sometimes it's pure
Sometimes it's
and
pure,
sometimes
and
it's
sometimes
impure.
it's impure.
Very good. Okay, next repeat. Promise.
Promise.
Very good. Okay, listen. Promise is a verb. To promise means to tell someone that you will do something. For example, I promise to give you money if you did well in your exam. I don't always do what I promise to do. Let's practice. Do you ever promise to give something to somebody and then not give it? Do you ever promise to give something to somebody and then not give it? Yes or no?
Yes,
I
I
sometimes
promise.
promise to give
Sometimes
something
promise
to
to give
somebody
something
and
to
then not
somebody
give it.
and then not give it.
Very good. Do you always do what you promise to do? Do you always do what you promise to do? Yes or no?
Yes,
I
I
always
do.
do what I promise to do.
No, I don't do.
No, I don't always do
No, I don't always
what
do.
I promise to
What
do.
I promise.
Very good, me neither. Okay, next. Are teenagers generally more polite than adults? Are teenagers generally more polite than adults?
No,
No, teenager. Oh,
teenager.
I'm sorry. That's the next one. Okay. Repeat. Polite,
Okay. Polite,
impolite,
impolite,
adult,
adult,
teenager.
teenager.
Very good. Okay, listen. The words polite and impolite are adjectives. To be pleasant to someone is polite. To be nice. To be unpleasant to someone is impolite. I'm an adult. My sister is 19 years old. She's a teenager. Teenagers are between the ages of 13 and 19. Some examples, sample sentence are, is, teenagers aren't generally more polite than adults. They're less polite than adults. Not everyone. Okay, let's practice. Are waiters and waitresses always polite to people in restaurants? Are waiters and waitresses always polite to people in restaurants? No. Waiters
No,
and
waiter,
waitresses aren't
waiters
always
are
polite to
always
people in
polite
restaurants.
in restaurants.
Sometimes they're polite
Sometimes they are
and
polite,
sometimes they're
sometimes
impolite.
they are
Are teenagers generally more polite than adults? Are teenagers generally more polite than adults? No.
no
Teenagers aren't
teenagers are
generally more polite than
generally
adults.
more polite than
They're
adults.
generally less
They
polite
are
than
generally
adults.
less polite than adults.
Very good. Next, repeat, excuse me.
Excuse me.
Very good. Okay, listen. When we want to speak to somebody we don't know, the first thing we generally say is, excuse me. When we don't know the way up to the station, we say, excuse me. Can you tell me the way to the station, please? Okay, let's practice. When we want to speak to somebody we don't know, what's the first thing we generally say? When we want to speak to somebody we don't know, what's the first thing we generally say? When we want to
When
speak
we want to
to
speak to
somebody we don't know,
somebody we
the
don't
first
know,
thing we generally
the first
say
thing
is,
they say
excuse me.
is excuse me.
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. Excuse me. Can you tell me
Excuse
the
me.
way to the
In
station,
the way
please?
to the station, please.
Very good. Okay, so that's the end of stage three. Okay, very good. So after that, let's go to stage three, full stage revision. Oh, all question and
Okay.
answer. Full stage
All
revision.
right.
Let me scroll up. Okay, here we go. Let's start again. Okay, let me just take note. Okay. Is your handkerchief more expensive than your shoes? Is your handkerchief more expensive than your shoes? Yes or no?
No.
My
The
handkerchief isn't
my
more
handkerchief is
expensive
more
than my
expensive
shoes. It's
than shoes.
cheaper than my
It's
shoes.
cheaper than my shoes.
Is a Rolls Royce cheaper than a Ford? Is a Rolls Royce cheaper than a Ford? No, a Rolls
No,
Royce isn't
sorry.
cheaper than a
It's
Ford.
cheaper,
It's more expensive
more
than a
expensive.
Ford. Very good. In your town, is your town a more expensive place than New York? Is your town a more expensive place than New York? No, my
No,
town
my
isn't a
town
more
is a
expensive
more
place than New
place
York.
than New
It's
York.
a cheaper place than New
It's
York.
New York.
Very good. Is the Suzuki the most expensive car in your country? Is the Suzuki the most expensive car in your country? No, the
No,
Suzuki
it's the
isn't the most expensive
most
car in my
expensive
country.
car in my country.
It's the cheapest car in
It's
my
the
country.
cheapest car in my country.
What's the cheapest thing in your room? What's the cheapest thing in your room? My,
My
say my pen,
cheapest thing
my pencil
in my pencil
is the
in
cheapest
my
thing
is the cheapest
in my
thing in my
room.
room.
Very good. What's the most expensive thing you're wearing? What's the most expensive thing you're wearing? My
My glasses
are the
are
most expensive thing
the most expensive
I'm
thing
wearing.
what I'm wearing.
Very good. What's the comparative of long? What's the comparative of long? The comparative of long
Comparative
is
to
longer
long
than.
is longer than.
What's the comparative of beautiful? What's the comparative of beautiful? The comparative
The
of
comparative
beautiful
of
is
beautiful
more
is
beautiful
more
than.
beautiful than.
What's the superlative of small? What's the superlative of small? The superlative
The
of small
superlative of
is the smallest.
is the smallest.
Very good. What's the superlative of expensive? What's the superlative of expensive? The superlative
The
of
superlative
expensive
of the expensive
is
is the
the
most
most
expensive.
expensive. Why do we say cheaper than but not expensiver than? Why do we say cheaper than but not expensiver than? We say cheaper than
We say
but not
cheaper than,
expensiver than.
but not
Expensive
expensive than,
because the adjective
because
P
the
has
adjective
only
is
one syllable,
only one syllable,
whereas the adjective
whereas
expensive
the
has
adjective of
three
expensive
syllables.
has three syllables.
Very good. Okay. Next. Where's my nose? Where's my nose? Your nose
Your
above your mouth.
above your mouth.
Where's my chin? Where's my chin? Your chin's below your
Your
mouth.
chin below your mouth.
Where's the ceiling? Where's the ceiling? The ceiling's
The
above
ceiling
our
is
heads.
above your.
Our
The
heads.
ceiling is our heads,
Very good.
above our heads.
Are my feet above the table? Are my feet above the table? No, your feet
Your
aren't
feet
above the
are
table.
above
They're
above the
below
table.
the table.
Below the table.
Very good. Tell me the names of the months of the year. Tell me the names of the months of the year, please. The names of
The
the
names
months
of
of
the
the
month
year
of
of
the
the year
year
are
are
January, February,
January,
March,
February, March,
April, May,
April, May,
June, July,
June,
August,
July,
September,
August,
October,
September,
November,
October,
and December.
November, December.
Very good. Next, what's this month? What's this month? This month's
This month
August.
is
August. Very good.
August.
What was last month? What was last month? Last month was
The last month was
July.
July.
What will next month be? What will next month be? Next month will
The
be
next month will be
September.
September.
What will the month after next be? What will the month after next be? The month after next
Month
will be.
after next will be October.
Very good. What was the month before last? What was the month before last? The month
The
before
month
last was.
before that was June.
Very good. Okay. What do the letters AM and PM mean after the time? What do the letters AM mean after the time? The letters AM
The letter
means
means
antemeridium after the time.
meridian all the time.
Very good. What do the letters PM mean after the time? What do the letters PM mean after the time? The letters PM mean
The letter PM means
postmeridium
post
after the time.
meridian after the time.
Very good. What's the difference between AM and PM? What's the difference between AM and PM? The difference between
Difference
AM
between
and
AM
PM
and
is
PM
that we use
is
AM for the
PM
time
for
before
time
midday and
midday.
PM for the time
PM
after
for the
midday.
time after midday.
Do we say 20 to 4 a.m.? Do we say 20 to 4 a.m.? No, we don't
No,
say
we don't say
20 to
20
4 a.m.
to 4
We say 3:40 a.m.
3:40 a.m.
What time do you eat breakfast? What time do you eat breakfast? I eat breakfast
I
at
eat breakfast at 7
a.m. You get.
a.m.
What time do you eat dinner? What time do you eat dinner? I eat dinner at.
I eat dinner at 7 p.m.
Very good. What can we use instead of the words many and much? What can we use instead of the word many and much? We can use a lot of
Use a lot
instead
of
of many
instead
and
of many
much.
and much.
Okay, very good. So we stop there for